Trevor, welcome to the Business Advisory Show at XeroCon. On the morning tea break, it's pandemonium, very noisy. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. It's a great event to come to, and I love coming here every year. It's just great to catch up with a lot of people.
Just for our audience out there, do you mind sharing a bit about the three different businesses you're involved in these days and what's going on there?
Yeah, so I'll start off with I was the first accountant to become a certified Xero partner in Australia, and I helped Xero develop the partner model. So how they took it out to the accountants back in 2010. From that, I was given the opportunity to sort of work in the Xero practice manager space and help them build in that. And so from that, I've developed a little consulting company called Turniton, where I work with accountants on Xero practice manager and processes in their business. I also have another business that I'm a shareholder in called Hub One, and that's a document management system built in and around Office 365. And then out of all of this, I've just recently started working with an accounting firm down in Melbourne called Ashford's, where I'm pretty much building a little bit of a dream of mine, where I want to build a model of going to small micro businesses and packaging together accounting services, IT services and marketing services all in a monthly payment, just once a month. So that's what I'm working on at the moment.
And let's face it, that makes a lot of sense because small business owners don't have time to run their own books, do their own accounting, and are rarely very good at marketing either.
No, and they don't. And we're going to focus on social media and Instagram and those sort of things, and just getting them to feel confident to use Instagram. We've got a digital marketing person expert on board, and they'll work with them. We build a website for them and integrate everything together, but also understand this whole eco-structure around the apps and what apps suit for their business and all that as well. So it's great. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, and you know what? That could even become a future benchmark model for the accounting industry, because it is all about small business. I think that's what Xero have probably prodded or pushed us into as an industry.
Yeah, it's taken us into a place, like one of the things that I find is, especially when I'm helping small businesses, and even at the moment some of the larger businesses I've been working with, is the feedback I get is, what I really like is that you're my accountant and you understand accounting, but you also understand the technology, and therefore you understand what we're trying to get at the end of the day. So it's sort of like you're all pieces of the whole pie and bring it together, and it's really critical that you can do that with a small business and help them with their strategies, their direction and all those things that they want to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Couple of our typical questions we tend to ask our guests on the show. What is business advisory to you? What does it actually mean?
To me, business advisory, realistically, I think that business advisory is really just understanding your client, understanding what their needs and what they want to do, and helping them and guide them through the minefield of small business. So, and it really it changes where you are. Sometimes you're talking to your clients about their business, their margins, their sales, and getting the front end in. Other times you're talking about their production skills, and then the outputs, or you're dealing with HR, and even at times you're dealing with their personal issues. So all of those things come in, and it comes down to, if you've got a relationship with your customer and your client, they'll ring you when they've got things they want to talk about.
It sounds a bit like something I've often called the lead advisor, or the top of mind advisor, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like the first person that someone calls when they're getting divorced is their accountant.
Accountant and lawyer.
Yeah. I think the accountant comes first.
Absolutely. What do you think the future holds for the accounting industry? Is there anything that you can see on the horizon?
Yeah, massive. Like that. This is where I see that I really want to create this model with this whole end-to-end solution that comes from the accounting industry. I think the IT industry is starting to, they're focused on boxes and all of those sort of things. The concept of the cloud is bringing the accountant even more into the relationship with the client. So the faster we can get up to speed with all of this technology, and the more involved and the more we're prepared to share and take risks and work with our clients in this space, the more involved we're going to be in there. So compliance is dead. Compliance isn't dead. It's going to have to be done. We've just got to work out a better way to do it. Once we get that done and we've got those things going, we've got the information that we can then work with our clients a lot better. And there's just so much opportunity to work with other areas that we can do, whether it's IT, whether it's advisory, whether it's all these other aspects. And I think the accountant can be involved in the whole way.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with you. As a business owner yourself, business advisors the more businesses we're personally involved in, typically I think the better we become as a business advisor. What's been your greatest lesson in business?
Greatest lesson is making the hard decisions. You know, standing up and saying, okay, I've got to look at this and make a hard decision. I've made mistakes where I haven't made those hard decisions, and it's hurt me. And and that is, whether it's you've got too much staff, you've got the wrong staff, and making staff decisions is really, really tough. It's an emotional decision that a lot of people want to step away from, and I found that was one of the biggest mistakes, and now I've had to learn that I've got to make those mistakes. And you know what? When you talk to people and you say, "Hey, this is where it is," they all understand. They all get it. They understand where it's all at. But boy, it's hard to sit down and make those tough decisions.
We call them ETDs, emotionally taxing decisions. Yeah,
exactly right. And all that comes from HR. So, where I'm working at the moment with Ashford's, they do that really well. I'm super impressed with their HR environment and how they manage HR and manage their hierarchy and their staff progression stuff. I think that's fantastic, and it's something I'm learning from them as well while I'm seeing this go along. So, yeah.
Looking back over your career, the defining moments and the lessons learned. I've got thousands of things if I could have my time over, I would have done them sooner or more differently. Is there anything that you would do over or do differently if you had the time again?
Yeah, I bought more shares in Xero was one. I should have bought more of those. Get more involved. Like I've always been involved in IT and moving these spaces, but really monetizing and getting that going, and focusing more on that monthly fee, getting that reoccurring revenue into my business and creating that relationship from there. That was probably one thing I should have done a lot quicker.
And that's a great insight for accountants and bookkeepers too, because so many of them have not been on the bell curve of early adoption of the monthly fee because they get it wrong, or they a bit of trial and error, they get some negative feedback, and they won't dip their toe in the water again. But how important is it to persist and slowly build out your value proposition to get a recurring model?
The whole thing about you've seen everywhere today they talk about cash flow and cash flow, how important it is in a small business. And if you think about it, if you can get all of your income coming in every month on the same time, then your cash flow problems are gone and you can manage that. But if you're going to do a bill, put it in WIP, collect the bill, do that sort of stuff, and you've got to wait 90 days to get your money, and you've got the dips and all of that sort of stuff, all those things going through, that's going to hurt. So, those sort of things were where I really would have loved to have got that done a lot faster in my accounting firm back in the day.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. And anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, not really. Just, love what you guys are doing. I've been working with Troy over the last few weeks, so he gives me lots of insights about where he's going. His business is amazing, and it's a real product of what you guys have been trying to work with. So, for me, I've got a really in-depth look at these sort of businesses. I've seen loads and loads of accounting firms, and his ticks massive boxes from what I've seen there. So that's
yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate that. But you're right. I mean, he's put a lot of work in, and I guess no one can do push-ups for you, right? So, and he actually takes the medicine and does the things that we encourage him to do. So,
thank you. It was good. Thanks for the opportunity to have a chat.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for being on the show.